We are one step closer to playing this out, where if we are able to breach this high, we will have very convincingly pretty much played out the final stage of the big fractal pattern that I was talking to you guys about that happened on this chart. It's actually interesting. There's so what we're looking at is being right here, but what I want to show you is how we might actually be here instead, just a different place in the same fractal, just almost because it's funny, but it also could make a little bit of sense given how the market has kind of formed this weird like triangular shape, potentially about to lead into major resistance, right? Because this was formed at $9,000 and the real resistance was kind of up here at about 10. So that might be something interesting to keep an eye on. But more than that, and we will get back to it in a second, more than that, what I'm finding interesting is just how Bitcoin is now really pushing to get back up towards those highs, right? If we look at this range that I had outlined for you guys, this midpoint was really important, right? And it is basically right in the middle, but the more important thing about this level is that this was the area that Bitcoin was finding a lot of resistance in back in March and early April. And since we managed to come up above it, we weren't really respecting the level very much. But one thing that it is useful to do is just see, like, kind of from this point onwards, how long have we spent above the line versus how long have we spent below the line, right? And this really tells us something quite important. It tells us that from this point onwards, the price pretty much, and this is very clear, most of the time the price is spent in the top of this range versus in the bottom, right? We're clearly in the top of the range more, showing us that we are, kind of really moving in that bullish direction. And we're doing this while things that could hold us back aren't actually that bad right now, right? Like the long and short ratio is so much worse for retail traders just like a week or two ago. We're not looking at those kind of numbers right now. It's a lot closer to neutral. Binance top trader positions haven't changed at all, basically in like a month or so. And Bybit is still even. Meanwhile, fear and greed index is coming down and Bitcoin continues to move up. Gold continues to hold a very strong position, guys. Look at this. This is absolutely huge. We did come down a little bit, but we're just finding support off the previous resistance level that gold was consolidating under, for, I don't know, a while, right? How long was this? Like 2 weeks, yeah. And at the same time, S&P 500 proving to us that we're still in a range. This is absolutely phenomenal, guys. We found resistance up here. I told you guys I think it'll be a shallow pullback. I think we'll bounce up from here. We came back up. We found resistance again. That I did not expect, but I told you guys that again, we'd probably find resistance here and just enter a sideways range. And now that we have moved up, that pretty much confirms it, right? If we find resistance here, that would be a nice, easy short play down to here, long off this level, nice, easy long up to here, for example. It's just your clear consolidation range right now. Previous time we had a big price correction, and this time we're just trading sideways, right? It's two different types of continuation patterns, but ultimately what they both mean is that the price is probably going to start moving up, and that is very, very exciting for those of you that have registered on BingX to take advantage of all of this volatility. Guys, this is a huge deal because Bybit's mandatory KYC goes into effect within less than 72 hours now. And if you are looking for a platform to trade on where you have access to all of those, indices, commodities, and so on that I've been talking to you guys about on this YouTube channel, then you can join BingX right here without KYC and take advantage of those markets. It is very, very cool. You've got the same user interface as Bybit. There's no learning curve here, which is very cool indeed. And of course, not only do we have all of the crypto pairs, but we also have all of, not all, but like a lot of stock pairs, a lot of indices and commodities and so on, which for some reason I can't show you any of them right now because I've lost how to find them. I think they literally just changed their UI like yesterday. We might find some up here. No, this is just the crypto stuff. But there are all the other traditional finance markets that for the life of me, I'm not able to find on video right now. But there we go. They are there. So they are worth checking out. You're getting over $5,000 in bonuses. And the way to sign up is just by heading onto the link in the description right here and taking advantage of that. And one of the big charts that I want to show you in this video actually, is to do with this. We'll get to this in a second, but it's also the long-term view here. It's this weekly, kind of trend line here that we've actually brought up on this YouTube channel before. I have spoken to you guys about it in the past where it kind of looks like Bitcoin was, finding resistance off this level going back into 2019, then 2020. But then also, we were able to use this area as support and resistance here in 2022 and now in 2023. This is a really, really big deal because you can see quite clearly how we were finding quite a bit of resistance right here. But now that we've actually been able to come above it, this has literally been the floor for Bitcoin's price. You can see that quite easily here because these wicks are not even going below the line. And that is a really big deal here. We have very, very clearly got some support coming off this level right now. And when we're able to flip important levels like this, it can turn into a really big deal, right? I mean, just to look at what happened last time, the last time that we flipped a line like this, it sent Bitcoin way higher. This was like $11,000 around here, maybe 12, probably not. I don't think it was higher than 11. Maybe, yeah, it could have been 12K. And it took Bitcoin straight up to 42 within one leg, or 64 if you count the big leg up, right? I mean, and it all came off flipping this trend line that was previously resistance. We have the same setup right now. Granted, we have consolidated above the line, which, you know, by now you want to see a big breakout. And that's the thing about the weekly time frame, right? Is like we're on a Friday candle right now. There's not a whole lot of time left for the S&P 500, only 2 hours until this trading session closes. And if we look at Bitcoin, just to kind of understand where Bitcoin is in its current kind of phase in this market, you know, with the weekly time frame candle here, we do have a good weekly candle. Don't get me wrong. I mean, you know, this candle here was you know, really, really useful to kind of erase the shit that happened from the previous candle, right? And this is something that I've spoken to you guys about, which you're going to know quite a bit about if you were subscribed, is that we formed this bearish engulfing candle right here that engulfed the previous 4 weeks of price action, which is an incredibly bearish sign, really a very, very bearish thing for the market to produce. Yet, you know, and it almost always leads to a continued dump side, a dump to the downside. You know, it almost always becomes a big, big problem for the market that takes the market significantly lower. You know, I've pointed out examples to you just here without even moving the chart. We've had many bearish engulfing candles recently, and they've all been disastrous for the market. You know, and a lot of these times we didn't even engulf 4 candles, right? Like this bearish engulfing candle only engulfed 3 candles. This one here engulfed 1 candle. This one here engulfed quite a few, actually. You know, and so it all just goes to show you that these, you know, I mean, you know, it doesn't even have to be this bad, you know, for bearish engulfing candles to cause significant problems for the market. But on this occasion here, we had a bad one, guys. I mean, you know, 4 weeks, you can't just brush that off lightly. But apparently Bitcoin can. The very next week, we recovered a lot of those losses. From candle open to close, we managed to rise up by 6%. And considering that week, we lost 9% of Bitcoin's value within 1 week, the fact that we were able to recover 6% is pretty impressive. And up to today, which is the following week, we're up to 6.3%. Most of that loss has now been recovered, ladies and gents, and that is a big deal. We can see the result of that with this weekly candle here. Not only did we come back down during this week, but we got rejected there and we actually got bought back up. So we've now got another bullish candle here. It kind of just completely writes off what was happening with this bearish weekly candle here, and that is a really big deal. That's why I come back to this chart and I show you this long-term view of how we flip this area of resistance into an area of support. Yes, we haven't started blasting off yet, which is a little bit disappointing, granted, you know, but what we are looking at here is a situation where even though we developed something incredibly bearish, incredibly dangerous on the weekly time frame, Bitcoin just didn't really suffer as a result of it for 2 weeks afterwards now, right? Like if a dump does happen, you can't really blame it on this bearish engulfing candle anymore, because it's had its time to play its course and nothing has happened. So as far as I'm concerned, that is a big, big sign that the bears could have driven the market much lower, right? They really did have a good chance to take the market down, to top the market out at 30K and drop it down. And they just couldn't seize it. It just didn't work out for them, you know? And if that's the case, and we're still at a resistance level, I really have to start asking questions about what we could be looking at. Here's the 4-hour time frame right here. And if we look at the Ichimoku cloud, this is now closing up, meaning that we are switching back to a bullish market on the 4-hour time frame. Now, obviously, this is a really small time frame considering that the market has been just trading sideways. So it's not something that I would read into too much, but I also wouldn't ignore an Ichimoku cloud closing up. That usually, you know, when a resistance cloud closes up, that usually means the price is going to start rising, you know, and when a support cloud closes up, it usually means the price is going to start dropping, right? So that and the thing about the Ichimoku cloud is it tells you the future. So, you know, like over here, we would have started to see the cloud close up, you know, and it was an indication that further downside was coming and that the market was just going to be shit for a while. So pretty accurate there, to be fair. And here's a 1-hour time frame. We are flipping areas of resistance into areas of support. Okay, this is very, very obvious to see if we zoom in very close now to the price action, just to kind of get a really close-up intimate view of actually what's going on with this chart, we do have this area, for example, right here of, previous resistance, now support. Why did I do that? Let me draw that again, something a little bit like this. Yeah, we do have this area of previous resistance, now support, which we have managed to flip. And again, we're angling higher, guys. We really are trying to break out higher. And this is the thing, is like, what I was saying to you guys in yesterday's video is that if we clear this level, that would be basically the final step. That would be this move here. If we clear this level, that would, no, I'm sorry, what am I talking about? It would be this move here, right here where my cursor is. I really have to zoom in. Oh, I can't zoom in. Okay, never mind. Can't show you this, can I? Wait, no, I can. Here we go. That's zooming in. So it's like literally we would be here if we clear that high right now, or like around here. And that's like right at the end before things get absolutely fucking crazy. The alternative idea to this is that we're not even that far yet, and this is going to take a lot longer. This is obviously the more sensible approach. If you think that the market is actually going to be reaching highs like $120,000, I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon. But if you think that is going to happen, then this is the kind of price action that we lead into it, right? I mean, we're just going to have to take it a little bit slower before we get crazy, because if we start getting crazy now, we're just not going to have that much steam to keep being crazy, right? So the slower we start, the better, and it makes a lot of sense. We've already had a pretty slow start, to be fair, so if this did end up playing out, I don't know, it's something. If we manage to pull off the same rise as last time, we would be looking at a very nice, juicy price target there at 121K. Like I said, I don't think that's going to happen, but some people might definitely be leaning in that direction. And there you go. That analysis is for you. Now, like I said earlier, I'm really happy with what I've seen with the S&P 500 here. The fact that we're kind of back in this sideways range tells me that we're still in the game. That tells me that we're still, we still got our juices flowing. We're still chilling, to be honest, just kind of waiting for that breakout. The dollar is just hanging on by a thread, guys. I mean, it's just not looking good right now at all. And if this does end up kind of rolling over and collapsing, we've got gold in an incredibly strong position after a sell-off. We've got the S&P 500, very well corrected right now. I mean, it doesn't need to keep consolidating as far as I'm concerned. The longer we do, sure, the better, whatever. But, it is time to break out now as well. That would make a lot of sense. So I'm still anticipating that breakout to the upside. Bitcoin dominance is still super high. This is actually really compelling. I've been talking to you guys about this a lot on the 𝗬𝗙𝗧𝗍 Daily channel, which you can find with the top link in the description of this YouTube video. And the thing with the Bitcoin dominance right now is the fact that Bitcoin looks like it's really kind of ready to peak higher, and the fact that Bitcoin dominance is where it is now, this is quite telling. It's really interesting that these all line up in the same way. We have shown so much strength at this resistance level, strength that we just didn't have before. Again, I can't make this point more clear than I am right now. Previously, when we managed to come up to this area of resistance, it was the very next day, every single time, only with few exceptions, that Bitcoin's dominance got absolutely smashed back down, right? I mean, big drops a week later from the point that we entered these ranges in the past, and this goes back 2 years, guys. This area has been relevant now for for exactly 2 years, as of basically yesterday. This range has been very problematic for Bitcoin, but not right now. Not right now. On this occasion, we have spent an incredibly long period of time here from start to now, 46 days, a month and a half, 6 weeks. Absolutely crazy time to be spending up at a resistance area. And if this is all happening right before Bitcoin blows up against the dollar, that could actually mean that Bitcoin's going to produce one of those classic face melting rallies where alts just get left behind, right? People don't care about alts because the safe asset is making them money now. This is the thing that I talk about all the time, is that, when the safe asset will make you money, you don't really want to go into riskier things yet. You only want to go into the riskier things when those safe assets cool off, when they enter consolidation periods, or when, when you've already made a lot of money with the first asset, I guess. And then you'll kind of start getting super greedy. You'll start feeling super smart. And then that's where you start looking to spend your money on other coins. So if we're about to look at Bitcoin exploding, that could be a little while away. You know, so if Bitcoin dominance does end up breaking this range and Bitcoin's US dollar price ends up breaking 30K, for example, we could see Bitcoin's dominance fly up, you know, even up to levels like 50, what am I saying? Down here, 54%, for example, to potentially capture a little bit of resistance. That would be a big, you know, I mean, we'd be looking at like a 6%, that's really confusing. If the number would go up by 6%, but the effect of it would be 10%. You know what I mean, right? I don't know how to phrase that. That's a really confusing thing to say. Someone tell me in the comments what the correct way to say that is, because that's gonna bug me now. But yeah, we'd be going from 48 to 54, right? Which is a 6 increase. You know, and that's a big deal. Like, I mean, what that would mean for altcoins would just be absolute decimation, guys. I mean, just destruction. Like, look at 𝗬𝗢𝗥𝗙𝗚 right now, right? The fact, like, this shit coin has just absolutely been blowing up without even basically consolidating. It's been crazy. You know, coins like this are going to have a really hard time surviving, you know, if Bitcoin starts showing us that actually Bitcoin's going to be interesting. It's only when Bitcoin goes sideways, and I warned you guys about this with altcoins, it's only when Bitcoin goes sideways that shit like this starts happening in the altcoin market, you know. And if we're not going to be going sideways after a few days, after a week or two, when a breakout comes, for example, you know, I mean, a coin like this could get quite badly hurt. And the problem with it is that it just doesn't have any resistance areas right now. I'm sorry, support areas right now. And that is something that I'll talk to you about a little bit more on the 𝗬𝗙𝗧𝗍 daily channel, because that's actually the very next video that I'm going to make. So if you have enjoyed this video and you're interested in seeing what's up with 𝗬𝗢𝗥, the thing about 𝗬𝗢𝗥 is that if you're smart about this, you can actually just kind of get in the market and get out the next day and make a fuckload of money, you know. And if that kind of thing, you know, just with a bit of play money sounds like it could be fun, then yeah, definitely stop by the 𝗬𝗙𝗧𝗍 daily channel and check out that 𝗬𝗢𝗥 video that I'm about to upload right there. If you have enjoyed this one, do me a favor, smash up the like, subscribe, tick the bell, do all that good stuff, and double check that you are subscribed, that you are signed up to bingx, so that you can also take advantage of all of these markets without having to do any KYC, without taking a selfie, without submitting your picture of your ID. You have access to all of these beautiful markets, you know, strong liquidity, obviously proof of reserves, everything, you know, is exactly as it should be for me to use it. And that's why I am bringing it up to you. So if you're interested, go ahead and check it out while you can. You've got over $5,000 in bonuses available to you, which is very, very cool indeed. All right, guys, I really hope you have enjoyed this one, and I'll see you all in the very next 𝗬𝗢𝗥 video. Cheers.